Welcome back to OK Last Try, everyone. I'm Larry. I'm here with John, and today we got a pretty special guest, old school Long Island DIY legend, Mike Lent.
Howdy. What's
What's
up?
going on, man?
Yeah, thank you for having me on and thank you for hitting me up. It was an honor and definitely unexpected. I was like, oh, let's go. Because I saw Cole's episode. Cole's one of my buddies. So
Hell
I was like,
yeah.
all right, this is cool. Let's get
Yeah,
it.
Cole is the man. I was so hyped to get him on.
For sure. Yeah, very talented photographer and excellent slappy curb skater. All around skater, but he's got slappies really good too.
It's funny, yeah. The few people who I reached out to some people to like get some questions, maybe from like guys you used to skate with or whatever. And
Yeah.
everyone was like, "Holy shit, you're getting Mike on the podcast? Like this is gonna be awesome." So
That's it.
that got me hyped.
Right on.
So let's get it started. Where'd you grow up? How'd you get into skating?
I grew up in a town called Medford, and next to that is probably a more well-known town called Patchogue. So if you're in the mix on Long Island, you know like Patchogue Medford High School or Pat Med. So I
Hmm.
grew up in Medford, and I started skating in 1997. So like peak cosplay era. I'm talking like uh, khakis, cargos, like SL 23s, like DC Links, like that going on, that whole era right there. But um, we had like a little crew on our street, and we just rode BMX, and we played street hockey, and did like a little bit of rollerblading, probably breaking the internet with that one. But I didn't skateboard until my neighbor to my right. It was a family. They had three girls, and they moved out, and then a dude, Matt Dillon. He was from Queens. He moved next door, and he came in hot to our old crew, and he had a skateboard. We're like, nobody skateboards on the street. Like, this is crazy. Like, what's going on with this? So, like, naturally kind of picked that up. But it's funny because in that house, like, my neighbor that moved out, the dude, head of the household, he had a bike shop in Patchogue. It was called Pee Wee's Bike Shop. And Pee Wee's sold skateboards.
Oh
So, like,
shit.
I kind of knew, like, that was already, like, in the mix of, like, BMX. And, like, I think I got a scooter for, like, a birthday or Christmas from him. And I remember going to the store and like seeing skateboards. And I think the person next to them, they had like older kids or whatever. Like these two dudes, I have like old family footage from my household with like the dudes next to him skating. So it was like always kind of around, but like never really did it. But yeah, homie moved next door, and then he befriended another dude. His name was Brian Mosh. So it was like these two dudes that like I was already friends with one. He moved next door, and I'm like, oh, he's my new neighbor, and that was it. We just started kind of doing everything, and everyone congregated in front of my house. We used to have this thing. We just called it the hill. If you look at it, it's not a hill at all. Like now, driving past my parents' house, like it's not a hill at all. It's like this tiny little like knoll of grass or whatever. But we used to hang out on this hill, and then like just have ramps in front of the house and stuff like that, like a box or like a little kicker. But we kept all the ramps in the woods, so like we just had like our little crew in front of the crib and kind of venturing out from there. But yeah, seventh grade, 1997.
Nice. And yeah, I feel like I grew up in Lindenhurst, so same kind of deal in the suburbs, you know.
Yeah,
I think I always like as a kid I was always like fuck, I wish I like lived in the city because I wanted to skate all those spots like all the time, you know. But I think growing up skating in the suburbs kind of it was kind of sick because you kind of just had to like work to find your spots or make your
oh yeah,
spots
yeah.
or you know, just lurk around on bikes looking for shitty curbs or shitty like
That's
asphalt to
what we
skate
did,
on.
man. Like we had like a main street. It was South Haven Avenue. So like we would either go left or we'd go right. If we went left, we went to this spot. It was a firehouse, like Medford Firehouse. So there were a bunch of curbs there, and we discovered this place when like the curbs are already waxed, like they're already greased up. We're like, this place is like a skate park. This is sick. So we had that if we went left, and then if we went right, you'd go all the way down to like it was called Finest. It used to be Stop and Shop. Well, that's what Stop and Shop became or whatever. So there were like ledges out front. They were like mad high. But there was another bank there. I think it used to be like a Washington Mutual or something like that. That they had curbs there. So like that was like the mission. Like either go right on the weekend and go to like the shopping center and like piss all the people off in front of the stores and stuff like that. And then, or we go left to the firehouse and skate. But then eventually we got wind of this spot called Peconic. There's a Peconic Avenue or Peconic Boulevard, whatever it is back home. And it was like a huge like lot, but they had like a huge awning as well. So like people used to make ramps underneath there. But then there was a little tiny building that was like completely covered, like kind of like a DIY kind of spot. There's a
Hmm.
huge quarter pipe in there. There was boxes. There was like a box off a ledge, like a flat bar. It was
Oh
basically like a
shit.
skate park. So like we went there one day and then we saw like a group of like 10 kids. We're like, yo, this is crazy. This is something like out of a movie. Like the kids were so good. And they're like, oh, the one kid sponsored. He's sponsored. Like, what is sponsored? Like, we had no clue like what we get sponsored. But I was just like, just getting started. Trekking out there with like everything. I'm talking about like bike, rollerblades, the backpack with the board across the back, like just doing all three. But I saw that and I was like, man, this is pretty cool. Like these dudes are doing it.
That was probably like your first exposure to like a DIY kind of spot.
Um, yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Peconic was like it had like multiple stages, but like seeing that out of the gate, I was like, well, this is pretty crazy. Like you can do like people do this here, and they're like these kids they seem like so much older. Even though you're in like seventh or eighth grade, they're probably in like ninth or tenth. But they're like in the corner like smoking cigs and stuff like that. And you're like, who are these dudes? Like, where do they come from?
You're like,
Pretty wild.
this is exactly what I want to start doing now.
Yeah,
Start
not me.
smoking. Well, once I like met the older kids that skated in like my town, it was fully like that kind of showed me what skateboarding, like how good you could actually get at
Yeah,
skateboarding or like tricks you could do.
yeah.
Without that, I was just like floundering. But that exposure to that, I was like, all right, let's
Oh
go.
yeah,
Like,
that's all it takes. Like, who was the older like crew in your town? Like, I know like Ray Freck, he's from further out, but like Lindenhurst, you probably had of the
uh,
Hessian, right? Sean Dazinski.
no, who's that?
Oh, well, Ray Freck that used to own Prize Fighter Wheels, like one of his good buddies, Sean Dazinski, he goes by the Hessian. He was from Lindenhurst,
Oh,
and he
okay.
is like a
Yeah.
Lindenhurst legend.
Damn, I don't know.
Yeah, you
Maybe.
gotta look it up or try to like do a deep dive on Ray's page, but like kind of
Yeah.
going from when I started when I was like 13 or 14 to being like 15 and 16. Like I started going to a spot. It was called Board Sports in Patchogue. It was an old skate park off of
Hmm.
112 and Roll Boulevard. And 2 streets away from me, um, my buddy Matt, he was like 2 or 3 years older, Matt Lentini, and his older brother Brian Lentini. Their family owned Board Sports, so it was like
Ooh,
these
that's
dudes a couple
sick.
streets away from me. I found out like we went there, kind of didn't really know, and then like kind of befriended them or whatever. But yeah, Brian from Ace Coffee like ended up working at the store and ended up like that was like my first sponsor was Board Sports, and like we
Oh
kind of just
shit.
like vibed off of that when we were younger, and then older dudes came through such as John Pierre Vargas and Rob Santiago, and then I met Ray Freck, and then Ray Freck obviously is friends with Sean Dazinski, aka the Hessian, and that became like they had a thing going on already, which is it was called Fun Game Massive, or like the Fun Game Crew or whatever. So like these dudes are the older guys are driving me around to skate spots. Like I got to get permission to my parents to like go to Queens and like it's crazy. Things evolved like pretty quick. I was like just around my house, and then meeting all those older dudes at Board Sports. I was like, wow, this is like I'm doing it. I think I'm doing it. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'd like to be out skating and just want to like hang with the old dudes and do tricks. I don't know.
So then after that, when did it like were you reading magazines and watching videos at that time and stuff? And then like
Whoa,
when did it start getting bigger for you? Like, you're on a shop sponsor, and then when does it start to get a little more
yeah.
like serious?
Probably like filming for that fun game video with Ray. I was just like, I'm 15 and 16, and these dudes are filming me skate. I'm like, this is kind of crazy. Like I always had like my dad was always into videography growing up, so like I had a camera around always. So like we were friends, like film our friends and stuff like that. But like as far as like going out and like being filmed, like that was like with Ray and that whole crew. So I was like, dang, I'm gonna be in this video. And then when Finest turned into Stop and Shop, that was like my first job. I was pushing shopping carts and bagging groceries and stuff like that. But at that point, I was going to new school too, like a lot. Like my parents would do like our clothes shopping there, and like I would get stuff from there. Like I had a loaner board from that dude Brian that I met when I first started skating, but the first board I bought was from new school. It was a girl, Rick Howard. I've been trying to. I know I have like that board that I skated at my parents' house on Long Island. I've been trying to find it. I can't. But it was a girl, Rick Howard. It was like half the girl logo. It was a talk bubble. It said girl, and then it said Rick Howard, like mad small at
Oh,
the bottom.
sick.
Yeah.
You have
So
the actual board at your parents?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It has
oh,
like the
sick.
grip tape cut out. It's all like it's shredding, man. Like it's been skated. You can like barely tell the graphics there, but I have it. It's cool. So like that's why I'm like, oh, I'm looking forward to like going back to my parents and like seeing all this old stuff. So like magazines, um, yeah, dude. Like I was reading Transworld. I was buying them when I could. I mean, eventually I got like a Thrasher subscription, but like, yeah, just going into new school a bunch. And I was like, oh, when I get my license, when I officially, drop my permit to get my license, I was like, I want to work here. And then that's what happened. I quit doing the carts and bagging groceries and cleaning up spills and aisles and stuff like that. And I worked part time at New School, like
That's
while I was going
sick.
to high school and like starting to go to college. I went to Suffolk College, so part time into full time, kind of bouncing back and forth. And then yeah, board sports closed down. New School was in the mix, and then that became my shop sponsor.
So you mentioned like who were the older guys in Lindenhurst and stuff, and today I was talking to Chad Caruso.
Oh yeah,
Um, I only knew him from Tanner Park, like seeing him and Nick Sassa and everyone like skate Tanner back
yep,
then and everything. But so he was saying you guys were on you guys had a board sponsor together as well, right? You were on
yeah.
Underworld together?
Yeah, Underworld and not Underworld Element. We got a lot of flack. We got a lot of hate from some of the older dudes, so from Fletch and Corso. I remember like they were like, "You know what that is?" Like me still kind of like learning about like older skating, like earlier '90s and like beyond. Like I didn't know that it was a company until like they kind of told me. I was like, "What?" And that didn't change anything. I was like, "Oh, this is my first legit sponsor is free boards." And like how it happened was kind of crazy actually. Like we're at Ramp. Did they talk about Rampage Skate Park at all?
No, no.
No. Okay, so Rampage Skate Park was a park in Setauket or East Setauket, like kind of on the North Shore line, like kind of by Port Jeff, and it was huge. Like they did demos there, like it was a pretty sick park. But I don't know how like someone tipped this dude off about me or whatever, but like I got scouted out to be on this team.
Oh
I
shit,
was like, I
that's
don't know how.
awesome.
Like I've been to a bunch of demos there, and like I skated with like older dudes that rode for like Sauce and Bodega and stuff like that. I'm like maybe one of those dudes like put in a word or something like that. I don't know, but like from what I was told, someone told this dude Tommy, this like Italian mob boss dude. He was like a plumber, electrician, or something like that. He lived in like Rockville Center, and he came to the park to like watch me skate. Like always used to skate there on like Wednesday nights, and he came on a Wednesday night and I was skating, and then he talked to me afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." But like, I always used to go to Rampage with Jean Pierre or Chris Redden, or like Paul Braun worked there, so like Paul would always used to be there. And I'm talking to this dude Tommy, he's like, "Yeah, I want to like get you boards, whatever." I was like, "Oh, this is sick." But he's like, "Is that your friend over there?" It was Jean Pierre. He's like, "I want to put this guy on too," because he was like laughing while he was skating the whole time. He's like, "He looks like he's having a lot of fun." He's like, I came here to watch you, but I want to put him on too." So like John and I rode for Underworld with Nick and Chad. I think eventually Brian Davis got on. There's Archie Beretti, and then there were a couple other dudes, like a random dude in like Massachusetts. They had a pro in Cali that was like part of the tilt mode crew, but not. He was like kind of like a one-off dude. Yeah, so that was like you know first board sponsor, which is
And
exciting. I never like got free boards before. I was like, cool, like in the mix with a shop sponsor, and at that time I was getting a flow from Lakai through the shop, so I was like, oh, things are starting to really kind of jump off here. I mean, it was flow stuff, but like being asked to be on a board company when someone scouts you out, it felt like a movie or something like that. I don't know, like Mighty
yeah,
Ducks.
that's
I don't
that's
know.
crazy, man. That's
yeah,
like that does sound like very much like a movie, like a
yeah,
guy out of his trunk in the parking lot, like, "Hey, what's up? You're
yeah. It was
skating good
wild. I'm
out
like,
there,
who's this
brother."
big like mob boss looking dude like rolling up? Like he kind of looked like like Peter Griffin ish, but like cooler, like a leather jacket, like he was chilling. Yeah, he had a shop though. I don't know if you would be familiar with the shop. It was called Harbor Skate Shop in Rockville Center.
I've heard of that shop. Maybe some other friends have mentioned it to me, but
Yeah,
I didn't know about it.
yeah, yeah.
The,
He had like part ownership of that shop with another dude that was like a firefighter or something like that. But yeah, that was my boss Tommy. And if you get a hold of this video, I mean, I have him in like I have a dresser here with like all old vids in it. But like if you somehow find this online, I always search randomly like just to kind of see if anyone's uploaded. But like the whole intro was supposed to be like a mob kind of intro. I'm like I knew this dude was like playing his part like being
oh,
an
that's
Italian like
sick.
plumber. So like it was supposed to be like Goodfellas or something like that. It was crazy. We put like Nick Sassa like in the trunk of the car or something like that. I think John was tied up with like tape over his mouth or something like that. The video's all over the place, but
Shit, I gotta find that.
yeah, I gotta see if
Maybe
I can
Chad
somehow
has
like
it.
upload it or something like that. If I ever like do YouTube stuff, I don't
Yeah, and then so that kind of did you leave Underworld or did it just fall apart?
know. That I mean, trying to think the timeline here. Like I was probably like 18 to 20 or like 19 to 21 or something like that. And then it fizzled out. It just went under. Like the shop closed. I think what happened was the dude Tommy. I think he was having another kid or something, and it kind of
Oh,
just fizzled
okay.
out. But during that time, Theo was starting to hazel, and excuse me, Underworld wasn't like really like done yet. But I hit up Dan. I started to skate with Dan a little bit, and he would film me and stuff. And I was like, yo, like it seems pretty cool. I know he has Scott Sutherland on his team. It was just Scott. That was like the only team member. And I was like, yo, this is pretty sick. I'm like, are you down? Like, I'm down. Like, I really like what you're doing. And he's like, yeah, this is cool. It'll be you and Scott. That's it. And then, yeah, Underworld fizzled out, and Hazel was in the mix from there.
That's cool. So that must have been like early 2000s-ish or like mid
Yeah, I want to
2000s.
say, gosh, man, like probably like 2003, four, or something like that.
And I asked that because there was another thing that came out, Seagull skateboards. Now, I don't know how I like missed the boat on this, but the videos for Seagull skateboards were insane. Like
Yeah,
that was such a
they're
cool.
awesome. Yeah, Seagull was sick, man. I mean, we had all like mutual friends that wrote for them, and then they had an offshoot brand that was called Seagull Hardware. So it was like just a bolt company, but like basically everybody on Long Island was on this bolt company. It was like, oh, you're on. Here's bolts. Here's bolts. Like we went out to
That's
Wayne one
awesome.
night with Fletch, and I was with like Pat Ryan and Matt Majewski, maybe Pat's brother, and Paul Braun came with me, and Steve was like, "Oh, like Paul, like I've seen you around, but like I haven't seen you in a long time." He's like, "You want to be on this bolt company?" He was like, "You're on." Like it was easy, you know what I mean? But like Siegel, like there was like a time lapse in there where like I was filming with Dan and Hazel was going good, but then like randomly out of the blue, we were going to skate. There was a rep on Long Island. My buddy Joe Mata, he was a rep for Oakley Sunglasses. We were going to skate his ramp like one night. It was like kind of in Stony Brook area. We were going to skate his ramp or like a party with him or something like that. And then I got a call from it was another shoe rep's name. His name is Joe Bragan. He did S. He did like Soltec basically, like
All
32
right. Yeah,
snowboard
yeah.
boots, like S America. And I got a call from him and he's like, hey, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm going on skate or going somewhere with my buddy Rich Long and Paul Braun. We were in the car. He's like, hey, I just started working for Girl and Four Star. He's like, I want to get you girl boards. I was like,
Oh
what?
shit.
Yeah, like randomly, like straight up cold call. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, hey man, like I'm like I ride for a local thing, Hazel. Like I felt like a lot of pressure just on that call. I was like, oh, but also like I felt loyal to Dan because we are like filming for a video and stuff.
Hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm like, this sounds awesome. Like, I really appreciate it. But I'm like, can I just get Four Star clothes? And he's like, well, no, he's like, it kind of has to be a package deal because at this point, like, New School was closed. And he's like, the only way he's
Hmm.
like, I can't get it. He's like, it's kind of like a unique program. He's like, I gotta like get your stuff to special sauce. He's like, it'll go through sauce, whatever. He's like, get your footage together. He's like, send it to me. Then also, I want you to send another tape to this dude, Tom Curran or Curran. I can't even pronounce his name right, but he's like, send it to this dude, send it to me, and then like we'll touch base on it. I was like, all right. So I get off the phone and like Paul and Richie were like, yo, you got to do that. Like, what are you doing? I was like, no, no, like, we're filming for like, I don't think it was called Rated R yet, like the Hazel Bay. We're just filming to film, you know? And I was like, oh man. And then a couple months go by and like, I was still kind of waiting to hear back from the footage because like, I was like, oh, let me just throw it out there. Like, they would just do it because you don't want to like miss an opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just threw it out there. I followed up a bunch of times with an email. I'm like, Joe, like anything yet? Anything? No. And then like a couple weeks go by and I was like, all right, one more time, I'm gonna hit Joe up. He's like, hey man, he's like, I gotta be honest. He's like, it just took a little while because like it took a little while to like for have everybody on the team on like Girl and Chocolate like watch their footage. Not
What the
everyone, but like a
hell?
good like they do like little things so they review all the the tapes that Krell's have or whatever. So
Yeah, yeah.
he's like you have Mike Carroll, Rick Howard, Rudy Johnson, and Mark Johnson and somebody else watch your footage. He's like they were calling you they like your footage, which was good. He's like they were calling you Mike Hunt, not Mike Lent. So they're like making fun of my name, but like not making fun of my skating. But they're like, yeah, they're down. He's like, Tom said it's all good. He's like, get him all your, your size, your board size and stuff like that. So I'm like, dang, all right, I guess this is it. And then stuff started showing up in orders at Sauce, and I feel really bad about this, and Dan knows this too. But like, I didn't really tell Dan that like I was doing this to like, hey, I'm gonna get boards from
Oh
Growing
shit. Yeah,
Chocolate. So
yeah.
like, dude, I felt so bad. This is awful. We went to a skate park one time in Connecticut, and like I was riding a girl board, and Bo just like showed up, and I was like, oh shit, this is bad.
Oh
So we
fuck.
kind of had that little beef or whatever. It wasn't like a beef, but he was upset, and I knew I did him wrong. And like I still tell him sorry to this day. But like I was like, hey man, I'm like even though I'm getting this, like let's still finish out filming the video. So I still had a full part in Rated R, and I still helped out with stuff where I could. But yeah, I did it bad. I did it bad. I did him dirty.
Yeah, but I mean,
But I was
sure.
excited, you know what I mean? Also, like listening to like older dudes that I'm friends with and I look up to for skating, and I was like, yeah, I'll listen to them.
You hear Mike Carroll wants you to start riding his
Yeah, I was
boards.
like,
You just
dude,
say
like my
yeah,
favorite
man. Like,
skater is like growing up with a girl skateboards poster in my room, amongst like a misled youth poster and and also
yeah.
I'm like, dudes, I looked up to like they're watching me skate, which is crazy.
And
But
sure,
like,
like, yeah, you want to be true to like your homie, but also,
yeah,
fuck,
yeah, it
dude.
was a tough call, man. But I mean, not like it fizzled out, but it was a cool moment because it kind of came like full circle, like going back to working at a new school, like they were filming for Yeah Right. This is like probably like 2002. What year did Yeah Right come out? 2004 or something?
2003.
2003. Yeah, so it must have been like 2002 or 2003 at some point. Like Rick Howard, Ty Evans, Gino, and the Lakai TM Kelly Bird. They walked into new school, and I was like, what
Oh
is going on
shit.
here? And another Long Island legend, John Oswald, he was there at the shop with me. I was working and kind of skating the ramp at the time, but like I was holding down the front counter. And then like John was talking to Rick Howard in the ramp room. He's like, what are you guys doing here? And Rick Howard's like, we're skating Gino spots. And like Gino
Oh
spots
shit.
being Stony Brook. It's like there's a
Yeah.
lot of clips of Gino skating Stony Brook. And then there's a Rick Howard clip is crazy. Also like funny story. Um, Rick Howard like set up his board because he kind of like cracked his board a little bit, and he left it. He's like, "Hey, this is for a kid that needs it." I was like, "All right, cool." And I'm like, "Yo, I'm taking that." Like, I'm taking that for the collection. I'm taking that for the wall. So
Come
I have the
on.
board that Rick Howard did the front nose to fake it on the Stony Brook bank to wall or bank to ledge.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, it's at my parents' house. All these gems
That's
are just chilling at my parents' house, man.
dude, there's no way I would have given that board to anybody else. I
Yeah,
would have
I
been
was
like,
like,
no
I'm
way.
putting this right in my car. Like, I'm not giving this to any kid.
Yeah, I'm hanging this up the second I get home. Get out of here. That's
But yeah, like fast
crazy.
forward that era, like new school clothes and like getting the stuff through Sauce, and then Sauce closed, which was crazy.
That was brutal.
But like poet, when Gino did his second wave of poets, like Sauce was still kind of open, and they were filming for like a pretty good video that James Buckman did. Like my boxes, so to speak, my flow went from like sauce to poets, but also like befriending, becoming friends with Gino once he started being back in the mix. He's like, yeah, whatever you want. He's like, I'll get it in my box or whatever. So that was cool.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah,
Yeah.
you had an even smoother connection.
Yeah, it was chill. It was chill. The one connection that was like really rocky, man. Throughout that time period, from Underworld even until then, like I got flow from Destructo trucks.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So what happened with that is I saw the ad in like a Resolve or like a Focus magazine or something like that. And like I had all this footage like kind of maybe pre Hazel or like during that I wasn't gonna use or something like that or like post Underworld, whenever this was. But like I had like 3 minutes of footage. And I was talking to my buddy Paul and he's like, oh, we should just send it and like see what happens. And then like 2 weeks later I got an email from the girl's name. Her name was Lisa Whitaker. She was like a team
Oh yeah,
manager
yeah.
over there. So she's like, "Welcome to the flow team." Well, she's like, "Just send me all this." I was like, "What?" Like
That's
within two
crazy.
weeks, I sent a tape, and I'm like on a flow thing, getting trucks, dude. So that was cool.
So you rode Destructos that
For a couple of
whole.
years, it was like maybe like a like almost 3 year thing, but like that lasted like through like when Sauce was still around. Like they weren't involved in the mix at all. Getting that, like that was all me, just like sending out a DVD. But the thing was that the program changed, and they're like, "Yo, if you want to still get trucks, like your shop sponsor, which was Poets, they got to take like 200 or 300 bucks worth of trucks a month." And I was like
Ooh.
talking to Matt Bell, and I was like, "Hey, Matt, like Matt and I were cool, but I was like, hey, I was like, do you think you get some Destructos in here?" And like, you know how like I don't know if you've ever been into that particular Poets, but like that was very like boutiquey. They were carrying like specific stuff.
Yep.
Matt, he was just like, "No, we only carry indie and Thunder." Eventually, he's like, "Sorry, man." I was like, "All right, I guess I'm off flow." And I said that to them, and they were like, "Oh, like sorry, if your shop can't take it, then you're off," kind of in a sense. Well, like whatever. So that was like freedom to like skate whatever. So I guess switched to like skating indies or something like that.
Yeah, probably the better move in the end there anyway.
Yeah.
Destructos looked insane
Yeah, but
like
like
later on.
actually, they were good trucks, man. Like they weren't bad, and like, but when you get like two or three pairs, like every couple months, you're like, what am I gonna do? So that was like trading in stuff to get more, whatever, like any bearing or
Yeah.
get an extra board or a set of wheels or something like that. But full circle with the Seagull thing, and this is like long story long, but like Fletch was like in the mix with the hardware company. He's like, you're on the hardware company. He's like, you just ride for the. He's like, girl flow isn't getting you anywhere. But like in my mind, I'm like, dang, like I don't know, maybe I'll go on a trip with Gino, or like maybe I'll go to
Hmm.
Trail Path or randomly or something like that, or like meet those guys when they come through, like which never happened. But he's like, that's not getting you anywhere. He's like, just ride for Seagull. And I remember like we used to chat via email like while we were working. And I got like this crazy email. It was just like ride for Seagull, ride for Seagull, ride for Seagull. It was either an email or a text from Steve. And I was like, all right, dude. And then like a week later, he sent me a box of like mad boards, like 5 or 6 boards. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Oh,
Let's
that's
do it.
sick.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
But
just
before that, though, like this is coming like Steve's full resume here. He had a company called Forte. Did you ever hear of Forte?
no.
Yeah, that
Another
that was
board company?
yeah, that was pre Siegel, pre Siegel, and then obviously before Northern. So like Steve had 4 board companies. Golly.
Shit. And was that also like a lot of Long Island guys?
Yeah, I think they had a dude from New Jersey. Like, I think his name was Chris, Chris Davis or something like that. He was good. He was like a real tech skater, and I think he wrote for like NJ Skate Shop. He was good. But yeah, it was mostly local dudes. And then Siegel transformed, same kind of thing, like mostly Long Island. But then he had Andrew Wilson wrote for Siegel.
Dude, that's what I'm
I don't know if
saying.
you found
Like,
this on the internet yet, but yeah, he wrote for Siegel for a little bit, and his brother Johnny obviously gave all the footage to Steve for like his parts, but he held on to all the good footage for like all the Johnny Wilson videos.
yeah, yeah. But that was kind of trippy because I feel, just growing up on Long Island and always skating, like you just hear of everything.
Yeah,
I don't know how Siegel just kind of went over my head or whatever, but yeah,
I
I'm
mean they were
watching
in
the
Bunker.
video.
I mean there weren't really like I guess at that point there were really like many shops. There was like Bunger and
Chapman.
I mean, he got into like KCDC and things like that. But I mean, Long Island wise, I mean, Bunger was the only shop and kind of still the only shop. I think there might be something in like Smithtown or something like that, or
There was, oh fuck, I'm forgetting the name of that one.
is it,
There's one
is it
now.
Cool Breeze is a shop or something like that? Aren't
Cool
they?
Breeze is like a new one, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't checked that one out yet because I mainly just go to Bunger or I've gone to Keepers out in Montauk as well.
Yeah, and I think Sammy has like a part in that, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like a part
Y-
owner.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a sister shop to Bunger, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure. Like
it
some
looks
kind
sick.
of
I mean, when I go back home, I want to try to do the whole experience, but I'm like, dang, Montauk is a hike from
dude.
from
It's
Bunger and like where I grew up. You know, that's like almost
from
2 hours.
everything, it's a hike.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, Lindenhurst never really had. We had, I mean, obviously Chapman was in Babylon, so that was
Yeah,
like the go-to
yep.
after Sauce closed. Um, but there was a short-lived shop in Lindenhurst called like Made in New York,
Oh, I remember that.
and I'm blanking on the dude's name who ran it, but he was fried, man. He would just
Yeah.
leave us in the shop, and he would go in the basement.
Was his name Andrew or something?
Fuck, maybe it was. He
I'm
was
at
like a
it's
BMX
on the tip of my
dude.
tongue, and like vaguely, I could be wrong. I don't know.
I'm blank. If my friends are gonna kill me for forgetting his name, because like we would just go in there and he would be sitting on this like armchair, like passed out, just totally cooked, and we would just be like kids running amok in this shop, like taking used bearings, like anything we could just
Like,
get out of there. It was pretty funny.
didn't that shop turn into a bar? Isn't it right there,
It's right next to a bar. I
right
don't
next
know
to
what
it?
it is now. Yeah,
Okay.
but that was always funny because it was around for like a year. That was
Yeah.
it. It was so short-lived. I think that guy ran it straight into the ground.
Gosh.
But
Well,
so I want to get to the DIY stuff, but also
yeah.
before that, how did the Northern thing come about then? Because that's where I think you put out the most footage for and probably some of your best stuff for sure.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Well, that was after Siegel kind of fizzled out. So he was like, "Oh, I don't want to do this anymore." And I think he kind of came in waves of having a board company, then not, and then starting something up again. Obviously, I think he may have had a daughter at that time, so that may have been a reason.
Hmm.
But him and Mike Gigani, they started Northern. They threw a couple different names around. They landed on that, but Steve randomly hit me up. He's like, "Hey, we want to do this." He's like, "We want to start it with you and kind of go from there." We kind of don't know what we're doing, but kind of don't want to have it be anything like Forte or Siegel. Like kind of be a little bit more polished, not polished, but like obviously like whole like woodsman kind of vibe, but like kind of tightened up, you know. I was like, oh, it sounds sick. Like I'm down. You know, obviously I was friends with those dudes, and I was like, yeah, anything I can do to kind of keep it moving. So that was really the focus in the beginning. And at that point, I mean, we were doing a little concrete stuff, but like going way back, and this is like underworld days, but like we were pouring Crete. There was a dude that used to go to New School, and he's friends with Keith Denley and Brian Clark, Quinn Sherman. I think he may have clips in the Chapman video, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but he hung out with like all those dudes. But we made a quarter pipe in his parents' driveway out of concrete, like not knowing what we were doing and all. That was our
Oh,
first.
hell yeah.
Yeah, this is like probably 2002 or three, whenever early 2000s, right? So like we
That's
did that in his
sick.
parents' driveway. We had transition on a barrier by my parents' house and like a court. So like we messed around with concrete a little bit, and then once I met like Pat Ryan and all those dudes, we kind of had a little bit of a spark again. But um, that second wave of that was really inspired by like Ponus Al. I saw like In Search of the Miraculous, and I was like, this is sick. Like this is kind of what I want to focus on right now. But we were all still street skating too. It wasn't like I'm only gonna do this, but I'm like I really like this. I want to do this and this, you know. And Steve
Yeah,
saw it, like, oh, I'll give you tools from Bottle Bros. Like I'll give you trowels and whatever you need. And then we had a spot going called Pizza Palace. It was in Kings Park, and that was like obviously our best work, because like we had two other spots, and then we had that, and like that. that was the best. That was like I still think about that and like how that felt to be down there. And it was just like we're like jewel thieves or something like that. Like bringing all the materials down at night, man. It was crazy. Like trying not to
Yeah,
be.
I
They got blown out. Like this is like when Instagram kind of started, and
yep.
it just got blown out. Like people started posting like, "Yo, don't like you can skate there. It's cool. Like it's for everyone to enjoy." But like telling people where it is, like that's just how things get super blown out, and the spot gets hot, you know. But that
Yep.
was like that beginning era at Northern that was happening. My girlfriend, then fiance, now wife, Allie, we got an apartment in Babylon, like as Pizza Palace was getting blown out. And I was like, oh, like Brentwood is on the way home. I'm like, let's go build it in Brentwood. And I always used to like chop it up with Danny McDaniels. Like he was always around, obviously skating Brentwood and other spots and stuff like that. But like I randomly got his email like on Facebook or something like that. And I was like, I want to know for sure it's cool to like go all out here before we
Yeah,
dump
yeah.
money and time and effort into it and stuff like that. So I remember like emailing him a bunch like while I was working. He's like, yeah, it's all cool. Like, no one really bothers us. It's like, we got a problem with bums like taking the angle iron or metal off of ledges. So he's like,
Bringing
other
it
than
to the
that, it's cool.
scrapyard.
Yeah. So like
That's
that
funny.
was like they would get what like $5 or $10 or some
Yeah,
crap.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was a go. So like Pizza Palace is ending. We kind of start to transition into Brentwood, and I kind of just ran with that. But like obviously still street skating at the same time too. And that's how I met
Yeah.
Ryan Flores was like through Brentwood, and he was just in the mix filming with other dudes from there. And he's like, "Yo, you want to film?" He's like, "I'm making a video." He's like, "Sayer's gonna be in it. Dylon." I was like, "I'm down." I'm like, "Let's go." And that's what happened with Grapevine.
That's yeah, I had never seen Grapevine until the other day when I started watching. Dude, there's so many videos that you know, I mean, there's so many videos that have come out, but so many that I've missed over the years that I was like, holy shit, this is
Well, like small independent like stuff happens a lot more rapid. Especially
yeah.
within 10 years or so. It's like content. I mean, Mark Johnson called this in like an interview like years and years ago. He's like, you see a Thrasher page? It's like the video's popping up and the next day it disappears. It's like over and over again. He's like, that's a bad thing. I'm like, that's like literally what we're at right now. I'm going back
Yeah.
to watch something and I can't find it. I have to write it down on my phone, like literally like type a note out in my phone as a reminder to myself, hey, watch this video so I can be like current, It's
I'll
crazy.
send myself like I'll copy and paste the YouTube links and then send it to myself because I know like
That's a
if
good
I
idea.
can't watch it then, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna forget
Yeah.
later on, so I need to like send this to myself.
Yeah, or I
'Cause
have
yeah,
like a lot of tabs open on my phone. Like I'll see it on like Thrasher or something like that. I'll click on that, or like Instagram, or
yep.
I'll take a screenshot or something like that. I'm like, I have to watch that. I can't watch it right now. And finding time to watch stuff, like especially with kids, is crazy. So like everything usually like at night or like
Yeah.
during work on like a lunch break or something like that.
It's crazy. Yeah. We had growing up like when Instagram was getting big, that's actually how we found out about Pizza Palace and we never
Yeah.
got to go. But
Uh,
obviously like we had heard about it a bunch, blah blah blah, and then we saw pictures of it like towards the end and we were like, "Holy shit." And we never got the opportunity to like skate there because that was like
uh,
Kings Park's a little far, like that
yeah,
was a
that's like
little bit out of
directly
our
north.
way.
Yeah. I mean,
But
that's like kind of when we started to use transition, like cut transitions. Like, oh, this is like Ponticelli and all these dudes are doing. Like, this is really how you're gonna make it legit. And then somehow, I think Pat Ryan got his hands on like a bunch of pool coping, and like that was sick. Like we were at that point, we were making beer can coping, and Fletch helped out with that a ton, and we had like little beer can coping parties at my house, like drinking tall boys and using that to fill a creek. Like we were using like all the right tools and things were going good and like that once that spot ended, obviously that kind of transition just to go from one spot to the next spot and kind of just do the same thing in Brentwood.
I mean, Brentwood was growing up, that was my favorite spot. I mean, I like skating ledges and all that kind of stuff. So being able, especially as like, a 13, 14-year-old kid,
Yeah.
like we would take the bus from Lindenhurst to Brentwood and then like skate to the spot. And it was cool because it was an open lot where there's like the perfect skate stuff. We were able to like, sneak a beer if we were like, or smoke for the first few times, like it was awesome. But everything there was just the coolest. Like, what, how long do you think it took you guys to like fully get it to where it was at towards the end, where it was like damn near a skate park?
I
Not a
mean,
skate park, but you know what I mean. Like, there was a lot
yeah,
of stuff there.
like there was a ledge there, and I would say the main big ledge, like the Drew Cakes ledge, like that was there. Um, there was another ledge there. It was just really just ledges and like wooden stuff that was like, you know, blown apart. Like you couldn't skate it. You know what I mean? It's like people were rigging up crazy stuff there. So like I think that was like I want to say summer of like gosh like 2013 or 14 or something like that. And then like they bulldozed that like right before I moved south in 2017. So it's probably like maybe 3 years or something, 2 years, 3 years. Maybe
Yeah,
my
yeah.
time was a little off, but like the whole time I was in Babylon for sure, we were skating there and building there when Allie and I lived there. Yeah, so from yeah maybe 2014 to 2017, like 3 years maybe.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That
it was crazy.
it
Like I remember rolling up there, like oh, bulldozers are there, like all these things are there, like what? Like this is crazy,
so
insane.
how it, like I guess that's you go into building a or like working on a DIY with that kind of in mind that that might happen. But what does
Yeah,
it feel like? You've worked on a few DIYs that have gotten wiped out. Like
yeah.
what what's that like? What's that feeling at the end? Are you kind of like, fuck, we wasted
Uh,
time or
yeah. I mean, you enjoy it while you can. Like that's the whole thing because you never know. Like you can go skate there one day and then the next day it's gone.
hmm
Obviously, you got to enjoy it and film as much as you can, or try to be productive with it. I don't know. Uh, yeah. I mean, I think when Pizza Palace was ending and getting hot, I think it was more like a panic kind of thing. Like, hey, just let's not, kind of walk away from it, and then whatever happens, because like they started like actually working on that building. And then we got word from one
Oh.
of Ryan Flores' friends, like, yeah, like my friend's dad was like a foreman on that job, and he went down there, he had to like clean it up, and he was like, oh,
Oh
I'm
shit.
impressed with what they did, but like they created a ton of debris and like all out of there, like a lower level of the building. But that was that. But like Brentwood, yeah, that hurt, man. Like, yeah, definitely like shed a tear. It was
Yeah.
sad because you get like you go from nothing, just kind of stepping into it and not really wanting to like step on toes, but you want to be respectful of like kids there and stuff like that. I always wanted the best for that spot, but it got to the point where like we were kind of butting heads with like some of the dudes that like skated and did graffiti there. It was a little weird for a little bit, but I mean, it was really just to like have a great place to skate and really just like enhance what was already there. It was never like a territorial thing. Like people more on like the Brentwood side, not like immediate homies, but they thought it was like, oh, you come in here just to do this. I'm like, dude, I just want to like I enjoy doing this. Like, I mean, this is a perfect spot to
Yeah.
do it. So like, I'm here to help and build and skate and just have fun. So that one hurt for sure. I think after that, I was like, oh, like started getting a little bit more serious about moving south. Like at that time, I was interviewing to start a career with UPS, and that's why I moved to South Carolina. Started a career with UPS. So at that point, I was like, oh, I'll just focus up on the move. And like, it's crazy. I found out I was getting the job, and then I found out that Brent was getting demoed the same day, which is crazy.
Whoa.
I was like, glass case of emotions.
Yeah, that's a real good news, bad news type of
Yeah. Oh yeah.
situation.
Yeah. So like at that time, I was out chill with the concrete stuff. Obviously, save up your money because I lived with Allie's parents for a little bit. I mean, that was an awesome experience. But like, you want to save as much money to like kind of pad that move
Yep.
a little bit. And then yeah, just street skating at that time was tough too. And like yeah, I was packing and moving and storage and like I didn't even let my job know from like I found out in May. I didn't
Oh
let them know
shit.
until August. So like that was a hectic time and it was just a weird time. So I wasn't really like skating and filming much until like I kind of like got my bearings when I got south and like
hmm
started a whole new chapter of skating down here. So it was it was hectic for a little bit, and I feel like kind of did a disservice to like Mike and Steve for like not being as productive as I should. Even though like yeah, I was in a lot of the edits and stuff like that, but um, yeah, once I got south, I was like, okay, this is cool. Everything is new down here. Like you meet new friends and new spots and stuff like that. So it was like closing one chapter and then opening up a new one, and it still feels very new and exciting down here. You know, coming up on what it's been a little over 8 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's a
wild.
minute ago. I can't believe that's how long ago Brentwood. That's how long it's been gone for. That's
Yeah,
crazy to
it's
think it
a
was eight
Taco Bell
years.
now, right? Like it was nothing for a good bit, I think, and then um like I randomly go on like Google Earth to like kind of cruise around and check out spots and like look at my parents' house and like different places I've lived and stuff like that. And I'm like, let me check out Brentwood, and then I hover over and it was like, dang, I thought it was just like a parking lot and it was a Taco Bell and some other shit. Yeah,
Damn. That's
yeah.
that's
Like yeah,
brutal.
you're gonna like make another fast food. Like there's one down Fifth Avenue somewhere. Like
Yeah,
you really
like
need like another Taco Bell. Like come on.
that's crazy. That was I mean in for DIYs too, that lasted forever it
It
felt
had a good
like
run for sure. It was definitely like Bobby Puglia went there, dude. Like there was
yeah.
a picture with Danny McDaniel's brother and Bobby Puglia like randomly on
So
Instagram.
sick.
I'm like, dude, what? Like he just like heard about it and wanted to check it out, which is sick. And like somebody else went out there, like another Brooklyn kind of dude. I'm losing train of thought on that, but yeah, it was people were coming out from the city to skate it, you know,
Yeah.
which was sick.
It I just this one story sticks out for me from there. We were skating one day. It was like me and my whole crew of friends. And again, we're probably like, I don't know, 16 maybe.
Yeah,
And so some dude was working on the like making the bowl corner. You know, like you go over the Drew Cakes ledge and then like a little straight and to the left, there was like a they were trying to make maybe it was you guys like trying to make a bowl
yeah,
corner.
like a little quick corner to hit like the taco.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And there was some guy there and he was like, "Yo, like concrete isn't cheap. You guys should like kick in some money if you're skating here, blah blah blah." And then I give the guy like $5 or whatever because we were just again, we're little kids. Some dude is
yeah.
like asking for money. So I give him $5 and then he comes back like 10 minutes later with like a six pack. And I was like, damn, I just bought this dude beer. It
That
was
wasn't
super
me, man. I
funny.
mean, I was taking most of that stuff like out of my own pocket, you know. I mean, people will kick in from time to time, but like that was just like mostly my own dime. I mean, what happened with like funding from there? That's a funny story. I don't think that was me. I wouldn't take somebody's money and do
No,
something
no.
like that.
I
But
I
I
think
think
it was more so just
maybe
an
there was
older dude
another dude
fucking
that
with
was in the
us.
mix, but I don't think he helped out with that part of that. I don't know who that was. There was
I
always
don't
some
even
characters there, though.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if he was really working on it. He could have just been a dude there for the
A
day just
lurker. Yeah, there
trying
were tons
to
of lurkers there, like at all times, and
yeah,
people
just trying to get a
passed
buck
out.
out of
And,
us.
yeah,
Which is, looking back, that's hilarious.
yeah,
That's
that's pretty funny. I mean, definitely
um
drank beer there a bunch while working, but never like took somebody's money blatantly and then oh, like a jerk, like
like
that.
right at the gas station that was like right next to it. He must have
Yeah,
just gone there and then came back and I was like, oh, all right,
yeah.
well,
It was crazy.
whatever.
Like I was trying to figure it out on Google Earth. I'm like, dang, like where is this? And I kept scrolling and like kind of moving the little dude past, and I'm like, wait a second, like the entrance isn't here. Like it's all over. And then I'm like, I scroll like a little bit further. I'm like, oh, there's a whole like shopping center here, basically. But there's still a little bit of the strip that's
Oh.
like left. That's you can build or escape, but obviously you're not going to be doing that. That's a funny story. Someone took your money. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was, dude, that always cracked me up. There, like you said, there was always characters there. It was just like I don't know, it was a fun place to be. That was like probably my favorite era of like Long Island skating was when me and my friends were going there all the time
That's
because
awesome.
it was like, yeah,
Really enjoyed those times for sure. Even before we built there, I mean, we would just kind of randomly post up there and Uh, we rolled up there one day and like Bobby Izzo was there, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I haven't seen Bobby in like a long time." And they were barbecuing that day and like just skating the ledges.
that's
And I'm like, "This is
sick.
sick. Like, we need to come back here like more often and do this," which we did years later. You know.
And so now that you're down south a little bit, what's the DIY situation? where you're at now?
Uh, yeah, so there's it's called Pome Mill, but like locals call it Twin because there's two big like brick smokestacks that are there. But over the years, like there was tons of rubble. Same thing like Brentwood, like people would clean it up over time, but like they used to be like completely filled with bricks and cinders and stuff like that. There's been so many cleanup efforts there and stuff like that, but um, slowly there's been some new stuff. But like even with my experience, I've always kind of felt a little odd, like coming in and doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like there isn't
Hmm.
really like a main dude there. There's a couple, small crew of dudes that build there, but and then people drop off stuff to skate there. Same thing like Brentwood. You skate for a little bit, falls apart,
Yep.
or it gets stolen, or somebody takes the rail and goes and scraps it. Like the same stuff happens down here. I always kind of felt a little odd. I think that's really why I never like I didn't want to feel like I was stepping on toes, like being a new dude or something like that.
Hmm.
I just want to enjoy it as it was, but I'm like, maybe I just need a good long break of doing that and just want to enjoy something and not like have to worry about it from like a territorial standpoint or like a monetary standpoint or something like that.
Yeah, like,
I would love to though. You know what I mean? Like I've done a couple Bondo jobs at like real spots, but like getting the creed and you know hauling it from your car to the spot, like I have not done that since I've been down here. I miss it a little bit, but I like just being in the zone of hey, like where are we gonna skate today, or like thinking about spots because my time is certainly limited these days. And like I
Yeah,
don't really
yeah.
get many windows. I get my wife gives me a lot of freedom. I'll give her that, and I'm definitely appreciative of that. But like to go out and you know you can't be skating all day with the boys. You know what I mean? So like either your time for like a little solo session is limited, or if it's like planned, I really gotta like be strategic. So it's just different now, like having kids and being a family dude.
Yeah. That's in the when I talked to Cole, we talked about this like going out as a kid, you could be out for 18 hours and it wouldn't even
Oh,
matter, you know?
for sure.
Like just
Yeah.
never go home. You're just skating for 2 days straight and
Oh
whatever.
yeah, or even in front of your
Now it's
house, man. Like I
yeah.
remember, like I was, I think 16 when photosynthesis came out. Like I just
Oh, fuck.
Orange State, man, just ran that thing religiously and just being hyped and like watching the whole video. And then like I remember this like so vividly, like being psyched to skate. Like I had a pair of pants that kind of looked like Jason Dill's pants. I was like, oh, I think I'm Jason Dill today. I'm gonna go like try to like do tricks in front of my house, like pounding surge like soda, like skating. And I go inside and I was like, damn, I feel crazy. My mom's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. Like my heart's like, she's like, why don't you like chill out? I was like, no, like I'm just kidding. Like, pounding Gatorade and pounding soda in front of your house and skating versus like, hey, I gotta be back by this time. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
night and day, man. Times have changed for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much yeah. Cole was saying like, you got a 4 hour window.
Yep.
It's like, let's make it happen in this 4 hours,
Yep.
or if not, then these 4 hours next week, we
Yeah.
gotta come back and
That's
like
it.
get
Yeah.
this
Or if
fucking
you're
get this
ancient like
trophy
me,
done.
you need an hour to warm up and then an hour to skate and then like an hour to like, oh, what did I just do for 2 hours? I don't know.
So I don't want to just breeze past the northern stuff because
Yeah.
like how was it like having your name on a board, like being I mean you were kind of like the guy for northern for a while, and was it cool to just have your name on a board and be a
Yeah,
part of something like
it was definitely like a huge like I'm very thankful that Mike and Steve did that. And like I didn't think I'd just originally the way that happened, like the first board I had, that was like a fundraiser board to raise money for Brentwood to build stuff.
oh
So like
shit, really?
it was like my board and excuse me, my hand uh in concrete, like with the Northern logo that was like super bad that I did. I wish I can go back and redo that in Photoshop or something like that. But it was like a super simple board. The money raised for that went to just concrete stuff. So like I wasn't a pro. It was like a bro board, you know what I mean? A bro
Mm-hmm.
model and fundraiser board. So that was cool. And then it was just kind of normal skating after that. And then I think it was like my 30th birthday. Yeah, it's like my 30th, and like my 30th birthday cake was like my board graphic. They didn't have a
Oh,
board to
that's
show me, but like it was like kind of part of the surprise, I guess. But like they kind of told me ahead of time. They're like, oh, like we're gonna do this because we got these two other dudes in Cali. They had Brian Botello and Jesse Narvaez.
Oh, hell yeah.
They rode for Rasa Libre, and I was like, I don't deserve to be on the same team with these dudes. Let alone be pro. I'm like, what's going on with this here? But like, yeah, I was very like, you know, very honored to have that. I was humbled by that for sure. I was like, dang, like to start out skating, like I never wanted to be pro. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, I got dreams, I want to turn pro, I want to make money. I just wanted to skate to obviously to have fun and like just to do tricks and see where it went. You know what I mean? It was never to be pro, but I was like, yeah, it's cool. You know what I mean? Super
Yeah,
thankful
yeah.
for Steve and Mike for the opportunity. So shout out to them.
Yeah, that's yeah, I guess it's weird when you do hear people say like, "Oh, I want to go pro." It's like I never, you know, it's weird to go into skating with that thought.
Yeah, that kind of
Um
mindset, right?
yeah, it's just I maybe it's like more prevalent now,
Yeah,
kids, but back then that's like, you don't even think about it. You're like, "Yeah, I'm just doing some dumb shit with my friends."
yeah. Now it's like your bar is so high to kind of be any kind of professional or performance or like Olympics and all that kind of stuff. Like you know what you got to do. Like you better get to
Yeah.
work. Like it's pretty crazy what kids are doing, especially like at a young age too. Like out of the womb doing like 900s.
But that's what makes it
Like
cooler. That's what makes like the working like the pro skater with like a full-time job or some shit. Like that's what makes that so much cooler to me because you're like, yeah, this guy is just really good at skating, but
yeah,
he like has a job and he's got other shit he has to do. That like for me triumphs over like a guy who just like
absolutely.
rips and gets a bunch of
Sayers,
sponsors.
Luke Mulaney. I mean,
Exactly.
the list goes on. Like those are two Long Island dudes I think of like off the top of my head. I'm like, oh, those dudes put in work, like in front of machines or out in crazy weather, like risking Lyme disease, and then they still are like so good on a skateboard. That's like probably the definition of like you know traffic, which is good. Like, and they're both right
Yeah.
for traffic, which is sick. It's like look at Ricky O, like he quit skating. Well, he still skated, I guess, but like he drove trucks and was a truck driver, I guess, or whatever.
Before we go, I just wanted to ask because James had told me that you used to cook for him all the time after you guys would go skating.
Oh yeah, we used to just barbecue at the crib. Like my wife and I would kind of just host little dinner parties, like make burgers or chicken or tacos or have someone go in the crock pot or something like that. Like I feel like James and Dylan were like my kids for like a little bit or something. Like we used to love having them over like after skating or just like chilling on like a Friday or Saturday. You know, they would stay over sometimes and yeah, we would just kick it in Babylon. Like that Babylon, that time was a very special time. Like obviously with my wife and I, it was the first place that we got together, but like being that close to like a town that you can skate in, you know what I mean? Like I can walk out my
Hmm.
door and like skate out to, Montauk Highway and take a right, and then boom, I'm like right, in the epicenter of Babylon. It was like kind of where like um Chapman used to be. He used to kind of live a couple blocks behind like Swell Taco and stuff.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah.
But
So right.
basically, like there's like it was Cooper Street, so like right next to or across from like Ralph's Italian Ice. There was like a little
Mhm.
park. I used to live right next to that little park.
Oh, sick. So yeah,
It was
you
like
were
come out of
you
my
were right in the
crib. Like,
mix.
yeah, so like right there,
You had all the spots
everything I
kind of
right
right
there. It's
there.
like Sushi, Domino's Pizza across the street, and then yeah, just skate over. Like we would skate Babylon train station a ton, which is awesome. I miss
Yep.
skating there. I think when I left, like the curbs like started to get good. It may have been like you and your friends that waxed that up. I think no.
I think it was some of the other Babylon dudes. Like I think
Really?
John and stuff probably because I had lived upstate for a little while during that period.
Okay.
I was going to school in New Paltz.
Oh, right on.
So I was kind of out of it, but John, my homie Matt, and Mike Regan and stuff, I feel like they would skate there quite a bit. And
Yeah,
Jake Matthews, like they would be
yeah,
the crew over there.
right on. Yeah, Jake is the man. He's like
Jake
the
is
best
the
dude. He's
best,
so sick.
dude.
He seems like a stoner dude from like a movie or like a Simpsons. I know I love the Simpsons, but like I picture him being like a Simpsons character. Like he's got
100%.
skateboard too. He's a man.
He's another dude who just like working class skater. Like he works a manual labor job. He's welding all day and then you see footage of him, you're like, damn, dude, you did that after like working a
Yeah,
full, probably some overtime on top of it too. Like that's
yeah,
crazy.
right on. Is the Chapman store or like the warehouse still there, or are they moved?
They only have the front of the store now. I think they sold the
Oh,
warehouse part or rented out or whatever. It's
yeah.
like they shrunk their operations big time because Theories started their own thing now.
Okay.
So I think that hit Chapman's pretty hard because I don't know who
Good
else,
Runs was doing like a warehouse moving sale or something like that. I'm like, what's going on here? Just trying to kind of figure it out, but like, I don't know
Yeah.
anything from that camp.
So
So
before we go, last thing, what are some like good DIY like etiquette tips? You know, like you go to someone else's, you go to a new DIY. What are some things to like, keep in mind when you're at another
DIY
person?
etiquette. Um, yeah, take your trash with you. That's important because like, don't want to be pulling like a Brentwood like times 10 or times 100 and doing a bunch of cleanups there. So like, yeah, taking your trash, packing in, packing out. Um, kind of just feeling out the vibe and don't snake anyone, don't cool guy anyone. Like, be very respectful, introduce yourself, for the first time. Um, if there's like a donation bin or something like that, maybe give a couple bucks. That always helps. So, a little bit goes a long way. Um, yeah, just don't be a jerk.
And what if like you're in your kind of situation where you're new to an area, but let's say you did want to build something. How would you,
Yeah.
what would you do?
Um, yeah, just try to network a little bit, like see who the main dudes are, like the main builders are, and just have a chat. Like kind of talk it out. And if you have like a drawing or a plan, like I used to sketch up stuff all the time and like show it to people, or email Danny McDaniels like, oh, what if we do this, or show him, and kind of like Danny. I used to call him the mayor. I used to like talk to him a lot and be like, yo, what if we do this here, and what do you think about this and that. And like usually he was just like, yeah, like this is sick. Like no one else is doing this. Like do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, just trying to get like overall like I don't know, kind of feel it out a little bit, have a good chat. That way you kind of lock it in and really concentrate on your project. But
Yeah, don't
yeah,
just
there's
show
there's
up
a
and
bunch of
start
like,
building randomly.
what's that?
Don't just show up and start building
Yeah. Don't
randomly.
don't be that dude for sure. I would definitely feel it out for a little bit, like know who your key players are, so to
Hmm.
speak. That way you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
heads or you're not getting vibed out or whatever.
Yeah, no, you gotta meet the mayor of the DIY. That's,
That's right. Yeah.
everything goes through them. Because
Yeah.
like we had one up in New Paltz, and we couldn't do any concrete, and we knew that. Like the school was letting us build stuff, but like
Okay.
they were like, hey, no concrete, don't do anything permanent. Bring all the rails and boxes and ramps you want, but just keep it, whatever.
Yeah.
And one day, some guys like there was a crack in the ground, and they got it was just like a regular pole jam, but they cemented it in place, and
Oh,
that was the end of the whole park. Like they saw the pole jam, and they were like, "Oh no, now you're like pouring cement here and stuff." Like, and they
take a
took,
picture like, oh, you go to like any parking lot anywhere, a car backs up, and that's what this is basically. Like,
yeah, we tried
yeah,
fighting it and
square to
everything,
stand on
but
there.
that was the killer, and we were all like, why did they do, like we knew the agreement. Why did these dudes just come in and make a
Yeah.
pole jam? It kind of fucked the whole, because then it was gone after that.
Yeah. Yeah. We had
But
like, I get not like a similar situation, but there was a dude that like I'd never met him, but he's the one that built that volcano like with the sewer cap on top. This
oh
dude
yeah,
Jeremiah, I
yeah.
think he was actually from like North Carolina, maybe one of the Carolinas, or maybe Virginia or something like that. But like, Manchild was like, "Yo, you got to meet Jeremiah. Like, talk to him about building stuff." I was like, "I would love to. Like, I want to, meet another dude that wants to do the same stuff that we can kind of like be on the same page." But like, I showed up and like half that volcano was built already. I was like, "What the?" I'm like, "Who is building
Damn.
other stuff here?" Manchild was like, "Oh, it's cool, it's cool." And then like ended up meeting that dude. He was a character, man. Like he was like kind of like a troll looking dude, not in like a bad kind of sense, but like he was like kind of short and stocky. Like he had like crazy voice, and like he would just be drinking tall bull. Maybe it was that dude that took your
Yeah,
money to,
maybe, dude.
yeah. But yeah, he was another dude like in the mix was just like kind of just did it. You know what I mean? Like didn't ask. I think he kind of just did it.
Yeah, yeah.
He had a different technique than I did for sure. You know, his work ethic and his usage of materials and stuff was like complete 180 for me. He would like not really use tools and but
Oh,
anyway,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
Yep. Feel out the vibe first and make sure you're connecting with the right people.
Hell yeah. Well,
Yeah.
dude, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you got a lot of shit going on and everything.
No, it's
So,
all good, man. Like I appreciate you reaching out.